The price of silver is down 16% for the year so far. A lot of people are hurting. Some people have been buying silver since 2015. And I know it's frustrating to see it at $19. But we need to get a grip on reality and get ready for the price of silver to drop even more. Yes, guys, it looks like the pain isn't over because we're heading into a deflationary wave and everything is going down in price. It's not just silver. It's also gold stocks and in the near future, real estate. Hello everyone, welcome to Success Wisdom. In this video, we're going to talk about silver bear market analysis, massive sell-off. If you're new to the channel, do like and subscribe to the channel. Only about 20% of my precious metals are silver because it changes so much. I've also heard how much silver costs if it were money. This is another big myth that we need to clear up in this video. Because if you want to keep buying silver in the coming months, you need to do it for the right reasons. But if you're new to silver and just starting out, this is a great time to start buying more of the metal because prices are likely to go down even more. Also, those ridiculous premiums from the past few years are going to come crashing down. First of all, we need to understand the crazy world we live in right now. We've never had such a long time with low interest rates, which has led to all of these asset bubbles and the printing of trillions of dollars over the last 10 years. Now, Powell has changed his mind about this a lot. He is getting all of the money out of the system. He's taking out $95 billion a month, and he will keep raising interest rates every month. When all this cheap money is taken away from an economy that has been used to it, the economy will have a big withdrawal, which is a market crash. And now we all know that silver and other precious metals are hard assets, and that real assets have never been cheaper than paper assets. Because of this, the stock market is falling much more than gold and silver. However, just because inflation is so high does not make silver immune to market forces. You can see a lot of people selling their assets and getting loans to pay for gas and food. I know it's terrible, but the money isn't going to silver. People are fighting for their lives, which brings us to how we should think about silver in the future, and some myths we need to clear up about it. If you keep buying silver, make sure you understand the pros and cons and the different types of coins so you can hold on to it if the price drops another 10 or 20%. First, silver is not the same as gold. It is not a cheaper and more volatile version of gold. They're not the same at all. They have less and less in common, and this is becoming clearer as time goes on. When the lockdown started in 2020, gold kept going up, but silver fell and didn't go back until Powell decided to print trillions of dollars. And now, a lot of people think that silver is money. I agree that it should be, but we have to realize that the rest of the world doesn't agree. This is why just looking at the price, we can see that silver has gone down by 16%, while gold has only gone down by about 3% in the same time period. This is important because it shows that people see silver more as money than as an industrial metal that has been used to keep track of things in the past. During the last few recessions, silver fell more than gold on average. This is also something to think about, and I don't understand why. Didn't the US dollar used to be backed by both gold and silver? People must have used silver as money a long time ago, right? Because of this, gold is now the main focus of a monetary system, while silver has taken a back seat. People are less likely to sell their gold than their silver because of this. But if you look back 20 years ago, silver is still a good way to save money. Its price has gone from $5 to over $19. So if you bought it back then, you're still ahead. But there isn't much stopping silver from falling away down to 14 or 15 because the economy is going to get very bad. If you didn't already know, the Fed's own model for predicting GDP growth showed a negative 2.1% growth for Q2. And when added to the negative 1.6% growth for Q1, we are now in a recession. The economy is getting worse, and this is the main reason why the price of silver will keep going down. If you're buying more and more ounces of the metal, You need to know this. It's much better to buy at $19 today than it was to buy at $25 a year ago. But the bloodbath is probably not over yet. So you need to hold on tight and look at the bigger picture. The main problem with silver right now is that it is mostly used in industry. Almost 70% of it is used in industry, which is both good and bad. Silver demand will go up if you're moving toward a greener future and making more solar panels and electronics. But guys, we're heading into a recession, and it's not just a normal recession. There will be stagflation. That kind of silver bear market is the worst. Not only will interest rates go up, which will make it harder for businesses to grow, but soon consumers will stop spending a lot. People don't spend as much as they used to. I have cut my own spending by a third. When layoffs start, and trust me, they will, things are going to get really bad. People are losing their jobs not just in the tax industry, but also in the finance and mortgage industries. This is why it's hard to make a strong fundamental case for silver, especially if you're trying to trade it for the short term. You want to make a quick profit from it. Now is the worst time to buy physical silver. If you want to sell it for a gain 2, 3, or 4 months from now, you probably won't be able to. If the price does go up, it will only be for a short time. If you look at the commitment of traders' reports for silver, which show how money is really spent on the paper silver market, we can see that most traders are short silver right now. Contracts for silver are sold by more people than they are bought. Yes, I know that paper silver is not the same as real silver, but it controls the prices because the market for paper silver is hundreds of times bigger than the market for real silver. It's insane. I know that it is what it is, and we have to deal with it as it is. The interesting thing about this is that if we look more closely at the report, we can see that managed money is buying more short positions to drive down the price of silver. These are your money managers, hedge funds, professionals, and so-called smart money. They're betting that the silver price will go down. If you look at the people who make or sell silver, we can see that they are also very short on the metal. Their answers were 81% incorrect. That is a crazy number of shots hitting silver for both the producers and big money. But if we look closely, we can see that the other non-reportables, which represent retail and independent traders, are still very long. But they are starting to get out of their long positions. If these people on the street keep selling, silver could drop even more. So there is a huge push to sell silver. Could that suddenly change? Yes, it could, but there's a real reason for a bull market in silver to happen anytime soon. And the silver bear market is really pricing that in now. How far silver can go down is a big question. Do we now have $15 or even $10? The good thing about commodities is that they have value on their own. There is a cost to making them, which in this case is the cost of mining silver. The full cost of mining silver in 2021, according to Metal Focus, was about $10 an ounce, while the Civil Institute says it's closer to $11. For the sake of argument, let's say $11. This means that if the price of silver falls below that level, miners won't be able to make money. At that price point, they might even lose money. The mining companies will just stop digging for the metal. Who wants to lose money anyway? And the math is easy. If enough mines can make money, they won't make silver anymore. The price of silver rises above $11 as supply falls faster than demand. Before we continue to talk about the silver bear market, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. This is very helpful because the closer the price of silver gets to what it's cost to mine, the better an investment it will be. But I think that because oil prices are going up and inflation is getting worse, mining costs will be more than $11 in 2022. This is the thing about investing in mining stocks or mining indexes, like the GDX or the GDXJ. All of them are getting hit by 20% because on the one hand, mining costs are going up because the price of oil is going up, which means that people's wages are going up. And on the other hand, the price of silver is going down, which means that profits are going down. Now it's clear that I own both silver and mining stocks, so I'm feeling the pain just like you are. However, I'm looking at the big picture, and I think the payoff will come, and it will be huge. I can't tell you the future because I don't have a crystal ball, but I want us to change how we think about silver. Even more so during this recession, which could last anywhere from 6 to 12 months, 18 months, or even 24 months, I'm not too worried or stressed out about silver because I have a lot of different investments. A small amount of my money is in silver, but it's not most of it. I won't make up stories about why silver is the best investment now and always, because that isn't always the case. Remember that the conditions for investing are always changing. If the Fed lowers interest rates and starts printing money again tomorrow, the price of silver will start to go through the roof. Silver seems to me more like a hard asset that keeps money safe. I want us to really pay attention to silver, not as an investment, but as an asset outside of the financial system. Like gold, it has a counterparty risk because if you hold it, you really own it. In the event of a financial collapse, there is no chance of a bailout or of banks taking your money. Because of this, I also think that you shouldn't have too much silver. You shouldn't keep buying things for no reason and try to stack them as high as you can because you might need money to live someday. If all of your money is in silver, you might have to sell at a loss, which is something I don't want to happen to you. It will make you feel bad and you might never want to go back to silver again. At least from my point of view, physical silver is a store of value that is easy to fight with. If the financial system does collapse, it won't do as well as the stock market. But if the worst happens and we have a financial Armageddon, I'll have something valuable to trade for. You can also do this with gold, but silver is easier to use for smaller purchases. An ounce of gold here is worth about $1,700, while the same amount of silver is worth about $20.